Welcome to the Georgia Pete Symposium. We are so excited and elated today, once again, to have our viewers back with us. We have a very, very exciting program where we have some dynamic guests that we want to share some information with you today and really just allow you to see Gwinnett County, Fulton County, and the state of Georgia and just see some of the diamonds that are shining brightly in our area. We have a guest today with us right here, our new district attorney. We welcome you, Ms. Patsy Austin-Gaston. All right, congratulations to you on your new celebratory win of a historical office here in Gwinnett County. We also would like to welcome once again our chief magistrate judge of Fulton County. I think this is the second time that you've won an election as well. So congratulations to you as well, Judge Cassandra Kirk. And so we just want to welcome you, ladies, and we're just going to hone right in. So you won this election. I mean, nothing like this has ever happened in over 200 years of the foundation of Gwinnett County. And so I know you and your husband were looking at each other and smiling at each other, but when you had that moment by yourself, just Patsy Austin-Gaston and looking in the mirror, what did that feel like?
It felt wonderful. To tell you the truth, it felt wonderful because I really feel that God delivered this election.
Wow.
A lot of things were happening for other candidates and things were looking really swell for them. They were getting a lot of endorsements and things like that. And I looked around and said, what is going on? But, you know, when he puts you in place, that's all good. So I felt wonderful after that. We won, I believe, with a mandate for change. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm just here to work really hard for the people of Gwinnett County.
Well, once again, we can't celebrate enough to see these powerful women as you said, as God. This is a television program and broadcast where we can use the name of God and we don't have to say it bashfully, where God has elevated you into a position to serve and to a position to make changes. And so we're going to segue back into you and talk to you about some of the nuances and areas and duties and responsibilities that you cover for Gwinnett County. And once again, you know, I can't stop saying congratulations to you as well, Cassandra Kirk, Judge Kirk. I had the privilege to be able to observe your campaign and really watch you. I know you came against some really, really big money folks, but you prevailed. So the county of Fulton spoke. I think county of Fulton and Gwinnett has both about over 1 million citizens. And so tell me once again for you as well, when you woke up that morning or that night and you read the feed, what did that feel like knowing that you was going against the gorilla of politics?
Right. And so for me, first, thank you for having me. But for me, because I had been appointed originally by Governor Deal, I knew that it was not enough simply to be appointed, that I had to win election. And in Fulton County, the politics are probably very similar to they are in Gwinnett. For me, it felt relief that I could, in fact, continue the job that God had placed me there to do.
Amazing.
I had been there since 2014 and really making changes in our court to be able to know that I would be able to continue that for another term, to be able to know that we could continue in magistrate court and we would begin to inform, engage, and empower our community and not just simply figure out how we can get cases moved. So it was a huge relief to, number one, have a job, but number two, to be able to continue making the changes that we were making. So, yeah.
So as we swag back into Ms. Gaston, District Attorney Gaston, so I think now, you know, I remember working with another friend of mine that's a judge, became a Superior Court judge, and I had a conversation with her. And I said to her, your life has to change. And she said, what do you mean, John? I said, I'm trying not to call her name. I said, you cannot just go to the grocery store. You can't just go to the local gymnasium anymore. She said, well, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean by what do I mean? I said, you're a Superior Court judge. What part of that do you not understand? She said, well, why are you trying to tie my hands? I said to this lady, my friend, you have to convict people to life in prison sometimes. And that looks different. And their family members may not be happy about that. So you have to travel now with security.
Yes.
How are you coping with that? How does that feel? And that's a little bit inside, but I don't want to get too deep, but it's definitely different.
It is different. I have to be reminded sometimes that, okay, where are you going? If I go out for lunch, did you go out and nobody was with you? I'm like,
That's
it's cool. That's my chief investigator too.
Wow, you got two of them.
Yeah, well, I got, yeah, true.
3, 4. You got an army of them. But yeah, you said you have to be
But
reminded.
it's different. You know, you do have to be mindful of that because we are living in chaotic times, and we have to be mindful of how we step.
Yes, right.
And basically, you know, you think about your security, but I don't over deal with it.
I got you.
You know, so I basically keep the balance. So I think that's what I do.
And I like that. I like the fact that you said, you know, I trust in my security, but I also trust in the divine sovereign power of God as well.
Yes.
And I know you are a God believer, and that's a good place to be. I want to talk to you all both, and I want to come into your courtroom, Judge Kirk. What does the courtroom, pandemic, COVID, are you having court or have you shut down? Somebody said Fulton was closed down. Is that true or false?
So there was a period of time that was from March until about July 14th when we were handling only our constitutionally required duties. So that was, we were standing up electronic warrants 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days
Never
a
shut
year.
down.
Those never shut down. The other thing we were doing was first appearance, 6 days a week. Still continues to go. So those things were continuing. The other thing we continued was our misdemeanor mental health court, making sure that we were supporting those people that we had asked to come in pre-pandemic. And we said to them, hey, we're going to be with you. We're going to support you. So when people said it's shutting down, I said, no, we're going to figure out a way to keep in contact with them. Thankfully, we had our Sprocket app, which allowed us to have, we were with them on their phones, whether they wanted us or not. And so it allowed us to just give them that extra support. Hey, how are things going? Because when you have people in an accountability court and you tell them that the world has closed, now where do you go to get your support? Where do you go to get your mental health services? How do you get to your doctors? Those were important things that we needed to help them navigate, and it was our responsibility to do that. And so we couldn't shut down everything. So certainly others of our calendars shut down, but we have continued to run. And when July 14th opened and Justice Melton said, y'all put some cases up, he allowed each of the individual jurisdictions to figure out what we could do. That's exactly what we did. We knew our landlords needed to get cases moved. So we started with our landlord-tenant calendars. We are doing court on Zoom as well as in person, so we've got hybrid hearings. My biggest concern is making sure, obviously, that our judges are safe, and that required that court be set up in a different manner. We have plexiglass everywhere. We have little seats, the little marks on the seats that tell you where to sit, where you can come and where you can stand, but we are operating court safely, and we are moving cases.
What a breath of fresh air to know that not only is the courts not shut down, but that they're moving in a very COVID-friendly environment as they take care of the business of the citizens that you serve there. And as we kind of segue right into our next venue, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on, like administratively. I know you had to hire people and bring people on. Are you feeling really, really good about your team? You mentioned your team just a few minutes ago, and I see you smiling.
Yeah.
So everything that I see is in the smile.
Yes.
I always tell people, teamwork makes the dream work. Let's talk about your team.
Well, I have been blessed with some wonderful people to work with.
Wow.
I have a great chief investigator, Adam Gardner. I have a deputy chief, Curtis Clemens. Great people. And
Yes.
I have my chief assistant is Darryl Manns, and he was in the prosecutor's office before I got there. So when I came in, I elevated him to my chief. And I also have two great deputy chiefs, Salita Griffin. She handled the Tex MacGyver case down in Fulton when that went on, and she's phenomenal.
Well, listen.
I have Sabrina Nassam. She's great.
I want you to, I got to get more of this. We're going to go into a break, because she didn't tell me she had the dream team, y'all. But that's why she's smiling. That's why she's so happy, because she has a dream team. These women are trailblazers in their own right, and they are making it happen. Listen, we're going to take a station break, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys right back in just a little while. Bless you real good.
OcuPrep Training Solutions is a training and staffing organization whose mission it is to prepare the next generation of entry-level allied health professionals. OcuPrep offers in-house certification programs for multiple healthcare professions. If you're looking for a fulfilling career in the eye care, ear care, dental, or dialysis professions, www.ocuprep.com to discover which opportunity is right for you.
Body symmetry. We go on the inside and we get metabolically, hormonally, on a cellular level, and get everything optimized and balanced.
There's nobody like you on the face of the planet. So we need to treat you and tailor a program to you that is special to you.
It just gets me so excited. And so it's just, I run on passion. And I run on passion off of the fuel that I get from people's results. And it's powerful.
There aren't many lawyers that can offer in their practice trilingual services in a multiple of disciplines, and that's what we offer here. I felt it was important, given the demographics of this community, to be able to service as many people as possible, because there are some people that are underserved, that are not represented, that don't have access to strong legal services for a variety of reasons. I've been a lawyer for 32 years. I've been blessed to be able to practice around the world. I'm attorney C.K. Hoffler, and I refuse to be denied.
Everybody deserves a simple, decent place to live.
And that's what life is all about, is creating hope for tomorrow.
That hope is what we all need.
Everything is different about our lives now. A thank you isn't enough.
I've been able to focus on our future. I've been able to breathe. You know, what Habitat does, it empowers communities and creates strong families and strong communities.
Welcome back to the Georgia Peach Symposium. I am, once again, I'm elated and excited about the guests that we have today. We have the creme de la creme, the best of both worlds. We have Fulton County representation by the way of Chief Magistrate Judge Cassandra Kirk from Fulton County, and we also have a newly elected District Attorney, Patsy Alston Gaston. And so we're going to go right into this. You know what, Judge Kirk, you have been doing a dynamic job. I remember when you were appointed by the governor, and then you had to run on your own merit and use some of your own money, and you've done it. And I mean, you are a public servant, and I want to say to both of you guys, being a public servant is the real deal. Being a senior pastor of a church, you know, I've been a senior pastor for over 13 years. I'm not pastoring now. I'm in a little bit of what we would call a sabbatical. But you live in a glass house. And you live in a place where you're held to a very high standard by the community and just by people at large. But you know what? I've looked at your background, and you've had a phenomenal upbringing. Your parents did an amazing job of giving you the template for success. But my question now becomes, is there more areas I mean, some people could just be happy with where you are, but do you feel that you still have more, Judge Kirk, to contribute to Georgia and to Fulton County and to the world?
I would simply say, I hope so, right?
Yeah.
And so, I like how you put it, because there is preparation. And just as Esther was prepared, there was a period in a season where you had to get the information you need to go where you are going. And so I feel that I am prepared for wherever it is God sends me. And for me, it is where God is going to send me. And right now, this is where God has placed me. He has given me tools. He has given me an ability to make and reframe the way that our court handles people, the actual people behind the pieces of paper that we move every day. That is such a blessing. It has been such an honor to serve here and to be able to appoint 30 other judges. That is that opens up the door for the people. And our community has helped me make those appointments. I actually use community members to help us appoint and interview these judges. And so when there is a judge that sits on the bench, it is a judge that our community has picked. So that is a great honor. The other thing is, I'm going to go wherever God sends me. I am prepared. And if this is the time that God is sending me elsewhere, when I came on the juvenile court bench, God let me sit there for 4 years. I was able to work some amazing programs there. Our juvenile drug court, I was able to start that there. And then God said, yep, that's great, you've got that started. And he moved me somewhere else.
That's how God
So
moves.
I am open to wherever God is leading me.
Amazing. You know, Patsy, District Attorney Gaston, I read about you when you was running. I said, who is this lady? I mean, who is she? And I was, not to my dismay, but just to my information, not revelation, but just information. I was like, John, this lady's smart. This lady is a real live prosecutor. This lady has done business on the criminal justice level on a very, very high level, but you move so silently. So how do you think your journey has prepared you for such a daunting task?
Well, I definitely believe that I'm being prepared. It's like every experience you have, nothing's wasted when God puts you in a place. And I can just think back to little things. And one thing I was thinking about the other day, my eldest son is 28, and he got in some trouble when he was in high school. And I said that more or less prepared me to have sensitivity toward mothers when their children get into trouble. And that has prepared me for that because, otherwise, you always hear people saying it always is the home, but you can be a great parent and have a child that can go sideways. So what do we do as a society? What we should do is find a way to redirect that person, that child, into the situation where they can be productive citizens. And this is what I've always said while I was on my campaign trail. We have to give our kids a hope and a future. And that's one of the big areas that I ran on, is taking care of our kids. And I think that's very important. I talked to mothers that made me promise that are you going to help our children? And that's where I'm at with it. We have to just really work hard. All of the things that you've experienced in your life, I even had a popcorn shop that I had to brand. I did that as a practicing attorney. But just the branding of that and how you have to put everything forward, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to come up with names, trying to come up with strategy, how to position yourself. All of these things work toward making you who you are. And right now, as the district attorney of Gwinnett County, my job now is to make policy that will help our community, keep our community safe, and give people a hope and a future. A second chance sometimes is mandated. You can have justice, but you must also have some mercy.
Speaking of advocacy, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, Judge Kirk, but I want to drill down just a little bit deep. One of the most impressive things that my mother told us as 4 children, trouble knocks on everybody's door.
Oh, yes, it
does. At some point in time.
Yes.
And so one of the things that was equally as impressive to me, other than just your CV, was at your swearing-in ceremony, you vowed to give people a chance and look at diversion versus prison pipeline.
Right.
And I knew then, I said, this lady is the real deal. So we were honored to be a part of you. Now, back to advocacy. Judge Kirk, I have seen you now, because we're Facebook friends. You can't hide from me. And I see you all over everywhere. It's as if you don't sleep, okay? And so you're out there helping with homeless. You're helping here. You're helping there. You're in Rashad. Y'all are everywhere. I mean, just people in Fulton, your Soras, your AKAs. You got pearls and diamonds. So talk to me about the advocacy component. Why are you just so compassionate about that?
And so I'm so happy you asked me that. When I grew up as a child, I spent summers with my grandparents in Mississippi, in Raymond, Mississippi. And so what I realized was not only could my grandfather and I build pretty much anything, like he had a simple 3-step process, but there was something else he taught me. And that was the responsibility of power and influence. My grandparents walked in rooms and people called them Mr. Paul and Miss Dorothy. But I also realized there were people that walked in those exact same rooms behind them that didn't get those titles. And I realized that when my grandfather changed the way, when he changed the room, when he changed the atmosphere, it was simply because he said to that person, hey, Mr. John, how are you? Mr. John stood up, he held his back up, and he walked in doing what he had to get done. Just that simple amount of compassion for other people and how you can change your power and influence and share that is exactly what I want to be able to do with our court. One of the things that we do when I brought in the people from the National Center for State Courts was we made sure that we were able to inform people what our processes were. That include putting pamphlets together. That include putting videos together, making sure our website is usable, that it's got frequently asked questions, right? We're not wasting any space. If you want to figure out how to get something done, we've got an IG account, we've got a website, magistrateFulton.org. We want to make sure that you can figure out what you need to do. And because our court is the people's court, that means people come in without attorneys. Attorneys cost money. I know y'all know that, right? You know this for a fact. And so to collect a $5,000 judgment, to pay an attorney to collect a $5,000 judgment doesn't make sense. How do you get yourself better able to handle it? Well, you can read our website. We've got even a guided file system that'll help you file whatever paperwork you need to get that case moving. And so I have taken great pride, and I take great pride in the fact that I am placed here right now to be able to open up, to inform, and engage our community and empower them to get whatever it is they want done in our court to get that done.
Wow. Judge Kirk, I'm just glad to know you, and I'm glad to know you as well. Patsy, so let me digress for a minute. So, I'm that mom or dad that, their son, 16 years old, lives in Gwinnett County, a great kid, C averages, not failing, not making Fs, but was at the wrong place at the wrong time with one of his homies and just got jammed up. Not a bad kid. Does that child need to just be sentenced to life in prison for stealing some sneakers? I mean, it wasn't a violent crime, but he said, give me the sneakers. And he took the sneakers, and he's walking around with them, and, at the same school the kid is at. Does he need to go to prison for life?
No, sir. Just recently, this past week, I signed some cases over to send them back to juvenile court, because we want to, as much as possible, handle things at that level. Because the juvenile court record is so different than getting a felony out of Superior Court.
Let me tell you,
at least they can move on.
I want to say this before we go to our station break. It's so much in you, and there's so much in you, Judge Kirk. Listen, let me tell you something. I've got to bring them back. Welcome to the Georgia Peach Symposium, where you are getting information just like this. God bless you really, really good. Thank you.
OcuPrep Training Solutions is a training and staffing organization whose mission it is to prepare the next generation of entry-level allied health professionals. OcuPrep offers in-house certification programs for multiple healthcare professions. If you're looking for a fulfilling career in the eye care, ear care, dental, or dialysis professions, www.ocuprep.com to discover which opportunity is right for you.
Body symmetry. We go on the inside and we get metabolically, hormonally, on a cellular level, and get everything optimized and balanced.
There's nobody like you on the face of the planet. So we need to treat you and tailor a program to you that is special to you.
It just gets me so excited. And so it's just, I run on passion. And I run on passion off of the fuel that I get from people's results. And it's powerful.
There aren't many lawyers that can offer in their practice trilingual services in a multiple of disciplines, and that's what we offer here. I felt it was important, given the demographics of this community, to be able to service as many people as possible, because there are some people that are underserved, that are not represented, that don't have access to strong legal services for a variety of reasons. I've been a lawyer for 32 years. I've been blessed to be able to practice around the world. I'm attorney C.K. Hawthorne, and I refuse to be denied.
Everybody deserves a simple, decent place to live.
And that's what life is all about, is creating hope for tomorrow.
That hope is what we all need.
Everything is different about our lives now. A thank you isn't enough.
I've been able to focus on our future. I've been able to breathe. What Habitat does, it empowers communities and creates strong families and strong communities.
Welcome back to the Georgia Peach Symposium. Once again, we have got some outstanding, amazing guests right here with us today. We have District Attorney, history maker, Patsy Alston-Gadsden from Gwinnett County, one of the largest counties in the very state of Georgia, the great state of Georgia. We also have the Chief Magistrate Judge, Judge Cassandra Kirk, from Fulton County. And so we're just honoring these women today and really just having an opportunity to get to know you. And so I have a question for you, District Attorney Gadsden. What wakes you up in the morning?
Well, I think what wakes me up in the morning has to be serving the community. And we've had to do a lot of administrative things coming in, getting our sea legs underneath us. But what really makes me come alive is developing programs that will help our community. For example, we just reformatted the pretrial intervention diversion, where it will cover every division in our court system. Whereas before, there was a lot of inconsistencies in how it was applied. Everybody didn't get it that wanted it. Now we have designated certain crimes that will mandate that a person go into PTID. So I think that is what really makes me come alive, is putting programming in place and policies in place that really help and aid our community. Because when you think about a felony conviction, it can keep you from getting a job, from having an apartment. It can just derail your entire life. So basically what I want to do in our office, I want my ADAs to understand that we are giving people a chance. And I don't want that chance blown away by people. I want them to take it seriously, because it might not come back again. So we're asking people, when we put you in PTID, to work really hard to get through the programming, and we don't want to see you again.
One of the most powerful things that you said, because God gives us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I try to do twice as much listening and minimize some of my speech. I'm a greater listener than I am a vocal. And you said something that I always told my children. Until you're in a position where you're making the policy, establishing the policy, and establishing the procedure, you're not really making a difference yet. Speaking of policy, and you said that same thing, and I honed in on it when you said it. You've also been a policymaker, Judge Kirk. You've established some policy down there in Fulton County that sometimes has not always been favorable, but you stuck to your guns and you made sure that you've seen it to the end, and you were doing a dynamic job. What wakes you up in the morning?
I think very much like DA Austin Gatson, I think what wakes me up is the ability to make changes in the lives of people, the ability to make our court accessible, the ability to figure out how our community partners can collaborate with us. I'm in Fulton County. That is the heart of where people keep telling me there are resources. And I say to those resources, come to my door. We have use of you. Come to us. And so we have been able to hook up, particularly our landlord-tenant calendars, with our Star C, which has helped with rental assistance, with United Way, with as well Urban League of Greater Atlanta. So all of those resources and those people that say they have resources, we have an opportunity to make use of you.
Well, listen, on that note, I'm going to get ready to sign off, but I want to make sure that we have your information, District Attorney and Chief Magistrate. Thank you all so much for coming to the Georgia Peach Symposium, and you guys have been able to get a bird's eye view of what they're going to do. Have a blessed and wonderful day. God bless you. Really good.